Welcome to Waters Ironworks. We're continuing our journey through the Abana Level 1 National Curriculum. We are in section 1.14 this morning, where we are going to be making a Z-shaped tool, and not actually going to make it, but we also need a 3/8 inch round fuller. These fullers, we have made a lot of them, or these sorts of tools, a lot of them recently. There is nothing different really on this one than any of the other ones that we've worked on. The struck end and handle end are all the same. What we've done is we've taken it to a 3/8 inch round here on the end, and then just tapered it back all the way till it meets our indexing. So super simple tool. Because we haven't made so many of these recently, I'm not going to bother making this one. If you want to see exactly how to do it, look at the center punch or the chisel or any of the other variations on this that we've made. So the second part that goes along with this is our Z-shaped tool. I made this as just a practice before the video. I think I'm going to change it up a little bit so that it locks in the other direction. I've got a challenge with this anvil in that it has a very narrow face on it. So it's a little unsteady with just a normal Z-shaped tool, which is why we're doing the bends down, but I'll show you guys how that works. The idea is that with these two tools, we can come in with a piece of steel in between them, and we can fuller that material down on two different sides. This is going to be useful when we start making our tenons here for the final gate latch project. I will say that personally, if I was going to be doing this not as part of the Abana curriculum, what I would actually probably make is something like this. This is one of our spring swages, and I've got a video that I'll link if you want to see how to make these. I find this a little bit easier because it doesn't take two hands. You can just squeeze that material in, and it's going to hammer down on both sides for you. And this is just made out of mild steel. They hold up for a while, and then eventually you'll have to replace them. But this is a nice, fun project as well. So let's get a piece of steel hot, and we will make it into the shape of a Z. There's not going to be anything too crazy in this video. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark everything out. You can do this by eye, not a big deal either way. But what I want to do for my marking is I'm going to come in, you know, 1.5 or 2 inches, something like that. We'll put a mark here. This will be that first initial bend down. And then I'd like it to go all the way to the far side. So we're going to put a mark here. And then we're going to come across about that angle, put a mark there, back across, put a mark there, and then eventually we'll cut it somewhere like that. So let's get our center punch marks in here. There we go, and I'm not going to bother marking where we're going to cut it. We'll make that final determination at the end. So let's get this hot and start bending it. Rather than doing this over the vise, the anvil, we're going to take it over the vise and we're going to make our bends there. There's our first bend. My heat could be a little bit more accurate, but that's okay. Let's take a look at this on the anvil here. So one of my considerations, that needs to be bent quite a bit more, is the angle right here. Let's get that hot at that bend again. Let's bend it substantially more. So what I'm considering is the sharper this angle, the shorter my Z tool is going to be. And depending on how long the material you're going to be working with, you may want shorter or longer so that it supports your stock as you're doing that fullering. But I need to bend this quite a bit more. I'll put a little high in there so that I've got room to bend it as much as I think I need, which is probably about there. Straighten it out a little bit. We can do that over the horn and the face of the anvil, and then take a look at it. And that's looking about what we want. Our next fuller mark is right on target. So let's get it hot here and we'll bend it back the other way. A little bit of bumpiness going on. We'll just flatten this out. We could be a little bit sharper on our bend here. We'll fix that at the anvil this time. We'll just heat up this corner and give it a couple taps. Make that a little sharper. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Our next step is to heat that up and bend that down. Yeah, that'll work actually. So let's flatten this. And I think what I may wind up doing actually, instead of just cutting all of this material off, because I am always looking for better ways to store things, is I'm going to put a little loop on this and make it into a holder for it so that it doesn't have to store in a drawer or just on a table, and we can hang it instead so it'll be easy to find in the future. We'll still probably cut it off, you know, maybe there or something so it's not excessive. Put a little bit of a taper on there. I would actually like this, I think, to have my taper here in line, so we'll fix that. And this is good practice if you have got a diamond or something like that, a way to fix it. So let's get it hot one more time. We'll try and fix it and get our loop in. I want to make sure to leave this open enough that I can hang it on something. That looks pretty good. So let's quench it. And I'm going to realize that I've got this in the wrong place. I think that's all sitting pretty nice. Maybe a little bit of a bump there, but we can hammer that out real quick here. There we go. So we've got a nice Z-shaped tool here. It is going to stay on this anvil. Like I said, this anvil is pretty thin, which can be a challenge. And now when we want to make our fullers, we can come in. The Z-shaped tool will support our material. And we'll be able to come in and make our fullers so that we can do our tenoning. Very simple, very easy project. I don't think anybody's going to have any questions or challenges with this one, but if you do, drop a note in the comments and let me know. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon. We got a lizard hanging out with us. That's a Texas spiny lizard right there. He's cute.